I'm joined here with Master Shenlo.
And I'm joined here with MNG.
And together we are
Deep Sector. Once again, my friends, with another tale from the deep.
Thank y'all for watching. Like, share, subscribe, comment, tell your friends, write it on a message in a bottle and throw it into the ocean.
Yeah, so they can remember us forever, all throughout eternity.
Man, it's been an interesting, week as per usual. Yeah, man, it's what a world, huh?
Yeah, bro, what a fucking world. I've been thinking about that. So, like, a lot of our views, especially here, can be challenging to others and the world even in general. So I was like, man, it's crazy.
Like our perspective and opinion?
Yeah. So, like, it's crazy how... So it's like pretty much it's like it's you against the world, like how Tupac said, and for you to take up on yourself that fight sometimes against the world, with certain views is very strong act. It's a very strong statement to make. You know what I'm saying? You're like, the whole world believes this, but I swear I've seen it different. You know what I'm saying? And to hold your position and to do that takes a lot of courage.
I mean, it's definitely a lot easier in this day and age as well.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
for sure.
Back in the day, like shit, we could be killed and stoned.
Yeah, there's
lynched.
a lot of restrictions that help us for sure these days.
Yeah, it's crazy too. I mean, we have the First Amendment, but I mean, they never stopped people in the past before. You know? I mean, now, like, it's just wild. I think with social media and, obviously just all technology, it made things a lot more visible. Things a lot more noticeable. Things that happened one-off in a stadium somewhere that only the people there saw. Now the whole world can see, with technology and cameras, everything,
Yeah, bro, it's a trip.
It truly is.
And that's definitely going to help us. It's been helping us, with our growth in particular. So it's only going to accelerate faster though, So just got to stay caught up. That's why you got to freaking read, bro. Read out there. You get yourself informed.
Yeah.
No excuse anymore.
Read a fucking book.
For real. Or fucking just read an article or something.
Anything.
Learn something about the world.
Some sort of text.
Yeah. Something that'll teach you something.
Something that makes you go,
Yes. Like, what are the 6 electrolytes, minerals? Ooh. Tell me, Isaac.
Oh, I don't know, Lo. Let me know. What are they?
Okay. It is potassium,
okay,
calcium, sodium, magnesium, phosphate, and chloride.
So those are all the electrolytes?
Those are the 6 main electrolytes.
Interesting.
Yes.
Very interesting.
An electrolyte is a mineral with an electrical charge, essentially. So they're good for your neurotransmitters, and they help your nervous system process information and shit like that. Which is why, so like after you work out, you burn through a lot of your electrolytes, and so that's why it's good to. That's why Gatorade is a thing, because there's electrolytes and shit. Well, sodium, surprisingly. You think Gatorade, right? Electrolytes. I never thought of this, but there's a lot of sodium in Gatorade.
Interesting.
But that's the
Salty.
electrolytes. Yeah, it's to help replenish your body after a workout. So, because you burn a lot of your sodium out, you know what I'm saying, during your workouts.
Interesting.
And your sweat and shit.
Yeah, I want to I'm sure they probably have it at your job too, but Liquid IV. I'm not sure if you've heard of it, but it's kind of like a drink mix, sort of, like a powder in a, excuse me, in like a little pouch. You rip open, pour it in the water bottle or whatever.
Interesting.
But yeah, essentially it says like twice as like hydrating as water, or sometime like some fold better than water, but it's crazy. But yeah, and I want to try it, but it's like $9 for like 6 little packets. But yeah, that stuff like that's interesting.
So how is it twice as hydrating as water?
Well, because it's probably like all those electrolytes and stuff just in a packet, added to water.
That
so
makes
it's water
sense.
Plus that.
Yeah, they do say like, what is it? Oh yeah. So like, the water you get from fruits, it's strong. It's more sustainable than the water you get just from like liquid. You know what I'm saying? Because it's more of the structure of the water inside the fruit is like a gel-like structure. So it sticks to inside your body more. And it actually is more replenishing and more refreshing. So, and it probably has a lot to do with the electrolytes and certain things that are in the fruit too themselves. So
it's interesting to think of it as like kind of like a filter, like the fruit, absorbs that stuff, but it filters through, the stalk and everything. And, it still holds that water in a way, like a watermelon, right? But it's kind of, it's different, it's been filtered through the whole entire system of the fruit. And now it's all over, but it's different, it's more sticky because it has, it's different. It's not exactly just water.
Yeah. And it's delicious.
Yeah,
there's a lot of ways to hydrate yourself.
Love watermelon.
Yeah, watermelon. Yeah.
Oh, dude.
Yeah, most fruit is pretty much like 75%, 80% water. Watermelon's like 95% water or some shit.
It's crazy, yeah. It's like, obviously, yeah, you give it water and that's just what it does. But it's like, yeah, it just like takes it all and like turns into like a solid.
That shit's insane.
That is wild. It must be like genetics too, right? Because it's wild to think that like.
So did you read that thing, that post? That it says all fruit and all vegetables pretty much are genetically modified.
Oh, I believe it. Yeah, because once the seeds get out there, they just start planting and germinating and spreading. So
essentially, there's 5 ancestor fruits. The lemon is one of them. The pomelo, the mandarin, the kumquat. There's one more I can't think of right now. But all other fruits are generated from these 5 ancestor fruits by cross-pollinating and genetic modification.
Yeah.
And yeah, so practically all our fruits are freaking genetically modified. Everything's practically genetically modified. So it makes you think, are GMOs all that bad? Because we've been talking about how all this stuff helps us for so long, right? There's so many good benefits for all this and that. But then there was like that conspiracy period where it was like everybody was like, oh, GMOs, fucking GMOs are in your food, they're killing you, and da-da-da-da-da. And yeah, I'm sure there's probably some GMOs that are probably worse than others. But if pretty much all our food is fucking genetically modified, even considering half of like 75% of the fruits and vegetables, but those are actually still healthy for us. They're actually really good for us in many ways that we have definitely observed. Are GMOs really all that bad?
I just think the issue is we don't know the long-term effects. Right now, yeah, we can eat them and we get the vitamins and stuff, but 50 years down the line.
But we've been doing this for 50 plus years with oranges and all this and that and the other, and we do have documented.
But not to the effect we have in recent years, I think. I think it's been different. We cross-pollinated and stuff like that, but that's like different. Now we've actually gone into the structure in like seedless fruit, right? And like all this other shit. And it is kind of the same, but I think cross-pollination is different than, genetic modification.
I see what you're saying. So like, yeah, I don't agree with seedless fruit.
Yeah, it's wild.
It's kind of weird.
I don't know. It's just wild.
More flesh.
More
I bang agree. For your buck.
That it's probably still got all the vitamins and stuff, but I just nobody knows. Like who knows?
It's always funny when you get those fucking super oversized fruits.
I know, like grapefruit.
Like how? What steroids you pump into this bitch?
It's in the back. You guys in the back? Is that what you guys do?
I know, like juicing it up. Like, oh. Watch this one, bro. We're gonna make it 3 times as big.
Oh shit. Yeah, man. I don't know. It's wild. Who knows, man? But it's just, the thing is, like, we are what we adapt, we evolve. So I mean, if who's to say? Maybe we're already becoming, genetically modified ourselves.
Yeah,
like
we are definitely. We're like, remember how there was that huge jump in evolution where we don't understand how we got to that point. We're like, how did we come from this to this? It's such a like. Fucking, what is it? What's the word?
Drastic?
Yeah, drastic, sudden fucking jump. That's not the word I was looking for, but something like that. All of a sudden, we're just here at this level, and like, how did we transform from this to that? So there's definitely some point genetic modification there too, even. I believe that. I believe our genetics have been manipulated and messed with. Have you heard of the alien theories and all those fucking reptilian theories and all that shit? Yeah. I believe there's some truth in a lot of that. I don't believe it wholeheartedly. But when you take things into consideration, you could kind of see how certain things play out. So I'll tell you the truth. I've never seen a reptilian being myself, but I've heard plenty of stories. And there's a lot of similar accounts, so like, I take it with a grain of salt, you know what I'm saying? Everything I come across, unless it's like super just dead on. But yeah, so like, I read a whole bunch of different perspectives, and then I find the similarities, and I'm like, there's probably some truth in that right there. If all these people are kind of saying the same thing,
right?
There might be some truth here. Like if multiple people are saying this, and they're actually like, it's obvious these people don't really have no connection to each other at all. But these are definitely similar accounts of explaining this type of happening or situation, with the reptilians and shit like that. So I'm like, yeah, that might be true. They might have modified us or some shit. They might have did that shit.
Yeah.
Have you ever read any of those like channeling books?
Channeling books?
Yeah, so it's like there'd be about it'd be a person, right, writing the book, but essentially they're channeling an entity or like aliens.
Can't say I have.
They're pretty interesting. You know what I'm saying? Because they're like, it's like, how would you make this shit up? It's like, how would you make this shit up? Like, I'm like, people just sitting there thinking about, ooh, life was all made by reptilian beings, and just made up this whole fucking this random ass story and just said it to the world. I highly doubt that someone crafted this like really fucking extraordinary story just to fuck with the world.
I mean, I wouldn't doubt anybody's creativity.
I wouldn't either, but telling you, bro, some of these accounts, it's just like, whoa. You're like, whoa.
Yeah, man, it's...
Even authors say when you're like in a certain zone, it's almost like you're not even writing the book. You'll write certain parts and it's like it wrote itself or something.
Possessed.
Yeah, it's like it's like not even you. There's a way of doing that. I've never done nothing like that exactly. Actually, I think I have. Like, I was trying to text somebody the other day, and I passed out when I was texting, and I woke up, and it was saying something different, and I was like, the fuck was I saying? I was like...
That's interesting. Channeling. I mean, I don't know. I think I do that as well, but in a more conscious way, you know?
Yeah.
I think I channel myself rather than being channeled through. But, I mean, that is interesting, though, like in the way the books describe it.
Yeah, I always thought it was interesting. I like to read different perspectives and have different information. So, like, it was just always interesting to me, you know? I was like, man. You know, like, have you read Conversations with God?
You talk about channeling?
That book is about channeling and shit, too. Essentially, that's how he started writing the book, and he started having conversations with God. He got to a point to where he was asking all these different questions. He really started writing it down on a piece of paper, and then he started writing his responses to himself. But it wasn't him writing them; his hand would move without him knowing it. So, the whole series is about him and his conversation with God, what God has to say about these questions. It's that whole dialogue. I read the first two. There's two more after that, but it's a pretty interesting read.
They're all just him, like, you know, writing with God.
Talking to God.
Interesting.
The first one is about like yourself, your personal journey, you know, and why you feel like God's not working in your life and things of that nature. And then the next one is about the world, what's wrong with the world, and how we can fix it. And then the third one's supposed to be about aliens or some shit.
Interesting.
Yeah, I want to read that one, but my dad actually recommended those books to me, so I recommend it to anyone who feels drawn. It's a great read. It really changed my life. It's one of those books that is like really impactful in my journey. And yeah, I took a lot of wisdom from it, you know.
That's awesome, man. You know, books are powerful. You know, truly illuminate unseen stuff to us.
Yeah, I've read so many books that have shown me so many different things, you know, and I wouldn't be where I'm at, honestly, without a lot of those books that I took the time to really be like, what is this book about? It just helped me figure out certain things about myself, helped me see certain perspectives, so I could deal with life in a certain type of way. So now I've been like, I just continue that journey, you know, because life is perspective. The more perspective you have, the more you can understand. That's really what I see. So, trying to gain as much perspective as possible, so I could see as much as possible for me on my journey.
You know, it's to me, you know, it's kind of in a way, you know, pointless to see something and not understand what you're seeing, you know. So I mean, I feel like it's helped me personally to expand my horizons and, you know, read different texts and watch different, you know, movies and, you know, listen to different music, you know, because it's given me that experience to really, like, you know, piece it together, to truly understand what it all is. You know, like if somebody comes up to me and asks me a question, you know, I'm not gonna, you know, flip out on them, you know, just because, you know, this or that, you know, how they asked it to me or whatever. It's like, you know, I'm gonna try and understand, you know, in a way. I mean, it depends on what it is, obviously, but I mean, like, you know, it's like, you know, I'm based on my experiences, based on what I've seen, what I've heard, you know, how I understand the world, you know, I'm gonna try and, you know, decipher this. You know, I'm not just gonna, because I mean, yeah, man. I mean, that's why I like to diversify, like, you know, everything that I do, and because there's so much out there, you know, and so much to be aware of. You obviously can't be aware of everything, but I mean, you know, being diversified and, you know, thought and kind of having your toes in different ponds, you know, it helps, because it's like, yeah, you're gonna experience different things. You know, things I've seen in high school where it's like people who were so shut off from, you know, I guess just being open to other things. You know, like they'd always. I mean, life's life. You know, and everyone takes their own path. But it was just interesting to see like people who didn't, you know, have that experience that I had. You know, are things that were just kind of basic to me, you know, that I kind of took for granted as like, you know, common knowledge, you know, like for other people or, you know, some people who weren't as experienced or, you know, open to certain things, you know, they just didn't understand it all, you know, like I'd explain it and they'd be like just so in shock or like blown away. And it's like, you know, to me, it was just something that I've understood for a long time, you know, but some people it's just, you know, they're not at that point yet, you know, or they're not open to this kind of, you know, experiences or, you know, been able to be in the opportunity to have that experience. And it's just wild, you know.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy to see that, you know, and I've noticed that too in my journey. And yeah, I met a kid last night, right? And he just reminded me of like where I was at in the beginning, you know, of like trying to figure this shit out for myself. And like, because you could tell he's getting into like the deeper side of things, like spiritually. Mm-hmm. So he's into a lot of different symbolism and shit. And he was just asking certain things. He's like, yeah, I'm going over to this chick's house. I'm just trying to get some insight. You know, hopefully she give me some insight. And I was like, I asked him, I was like, so you want to, I was like, so you want some insight on life, right? So I gave him a little bit of my insight from pretty much what I seen he was at. Because he's just asking certain questions, you know, and you get stuck in certain loops when you ask certain questions. That's what I've noticed. Especially on this journey, because you start experiencing things and you create a certain doubt in yourself because it's like crazy. Shit gets kind of crazy. You're like, yo, why am I experiencing this? Who am I to experience this? And you start questioning yourself a lot. And my thing is, you wouldn't have certain things like thoughts about something or feelings without something actually being there. You know what I'm saying? You got to discern what's actually there. You know? Yeah. But once you get out of the questioning part, then you can actually get to the answer. You know? We get caught up in all the questions and you never get to the answers because you're so stuck in the questions. You ask one after another and after another and after another and then wonder why you're not figuring anything out because you're just jumping around. You know what I'm saying?
In a way, like, you know, it seems like kind of like tripping, you know, or like acid trips, right? Or just trips in general, you know, like, yeah, you keep like getting confronted with all these, you know, like conundrums that you run into. But if you're not, you know, working them out and finding those answers, then yeah, they just keep like building up. And then you just get like, because that's how I feel personally, you know, it's like, you know, each trip is supposed to bring you a lesson. You know, It's something you're supposed to work through and think about and come to a understanding with. And yeah. Exactly.
And yeah, it just builds up, you know, and you kind of become disoriented. And I went through that. So yeah, that's why I've also been working to reverse that myself, you know, and that's what I've seen. It's just I wouldn't work it out to the end, you know. I would get so I'd be so freaking overtaken by my curiosity because it was just so great, you know. And with curiosity comes a lot of things, you know. You're like when you're excited about the unknown. You know, like that's kind of scary. Yeah, you could be pretty reckless, you know. Like, so you gotta take a step back, learn how to temper your curiosity a bit, and things start to become a little more clear once you take it a little slower, because you don't want to be ahead of yourself. You know what I'm saying? You want to be where you're at. So take it as it comes. That's what I've been saying lately. You know, just take it as it comes and deal with it that way. You know, because that's when you'll have your full self there. You know, if you're not it's caught up in the past or stuck on or like focused on the future, and you're there present, you'll have your whole self to be able to deal with that situation. And the more you have of yourself accessible in every moment, the better you can make out of the situation. You know, the better you can do it yourself. You know, because when you don't feel 100%, bro. Yeah, you know how I know how it is for me when I don't feel 100%. I know I could barely freaking I could barely maintain my attitude sometimes, you know? Like you get kind of irritated, you're real irritable and shit.
It's real, man. Yeah.
So,
you know, it's all part of self-care.
Yeah.
You know, taking care of yourself. Knowing your limits. You know what I mean? Like I always say, this shit's always easier said than done, but, you know, it starts with, you know, being mindful of it. And I mean, you know, speaking it out really helps too. You know, putting it out there and solidifying it in existence with words. You know, it helps. Or even talking about it with other people, you know, with anything.
Yep. That'd be optimal. If you could talk about it with someone else, that would definitely help you. That's what's helped me a lot.
Yeah.
You know, and being able to talk to people about certain situations.
I agree. Yeah, you know, it's the same thing, you know, about experience and stuff, you know, getting to know other people's perception, experience.
And perspectives. Yeah, it's all perspective and perception, bro. Like, the more you have, the more you can understand. I swear.
Mm-hmm. That's one thing I loved about, like, acting and stuff, too, you know, it's just, like, for, like, you know, the most part, I always thought it was awesome because, you know, you get to embody, you know, somebody else, you know, and step outside of who you are. And even if it's not like, you know, the most glamorous thing, you know, the most good thing, you know, you could be like this horrible, disgusting person. And like, but it's part of a story, obviously, you know, like, you know, I'm not like trying to live that life, but you know, it's just like, it's interesting that you can step into those shoes and portray that and, you know, just act that out, you know, for that given time and just kind of experience that, you know, and obviously like, it isn't real and you're portraying this and acting this, but you know, what you're doing is that, and what your person across from you is doing is responding to what you're doing, you know, and it's interesting, you know, and that always brought me like a sort of therapy, you know, cause like it's different, you know, it's so varied, like you can be so joyous and happy or so sad and depressed or, you know, angry and outraged. It's different, you know, and, or just like drunk and tired, like, you know, there's different like spots of, you know, emotion throughout it, and yeah, I don't know what led me there, but I mean, I think it's always just been an interesting thing that I loved about it, and yeah, you know, part of the perspective thing, like it definitely gives you that, you know, different perspective in a wild way, you know, to truly step into, you know, the shoes of someone else in a way, you know, trying to understand how they would go about it, how they would do it, why they would do it.
That's amazing. You know, like, I would think that would bring out more characteristics in yourself too, you know, because I've noticed it makes me think about, what is it called? You know how people imitate voices and shit?
Like voice acting or? Like,
nah, just in like, kind of like that, but like day-to-day life, people just...
It's like voices.
Yeah, just make voices.
Mm-hmm.
So I've been doing that lately. And it's kind of like acting. It's kind of like you're acting in a way. and because you take on that character and then you kind of match words and say what they might say. So I've noticed it like draws more out of yourself, you know, more of your creativity, more of your own character, you know, because you're not saying exactly what they would say. And you're like going along the lines, but you're using kind of your own creativity to spice it up a bit and keep things going, and using the character to help kind of bring more out of yourself.
You know, in a way, and like looking at it now, you know, I mean, obviously at the time I was probably into it like that, but like, you know, it's kind of like freestyling, you know, because I mean, essentially you have a director, right? And she has an idea of what it's supposed to be too, but you know, obviously it's on you. You know, you're the one who's bringing the, you know, the understanding of this character. You're portraying this character. So I mean, you know, but they have their opinion too. But I mean, you're kind of just, you know, you're freestyling it. You're going out there. You're doing what you think, you know, of what this person is, who this person is, and you know, you get notes and stuff, and you know, kind of tweak it and perfect it. But it's like freestyling. You know, you're just going out there and just doing it. You know, and like
Exactly.
And yeah, if they like it, then that's what it is. You know, if they give you some notes, like, cause you kind of perfect it and tweak it, and you know, and it's kind of like music, right? You know, like you freestyle it, like you hear some cool bars, you might write that down, you might perfect it, add something to it, put it in a song, boom, you know. And it's pretty awesome. You know, art is, it's art, you know. It's all like, in a way, sort of the same, but it's obviously different. You know, the medium's different, but it's art, you know.
Yeah, art's amazing, bro. That's an interesting perspective, though, like freestyling, because I definitely see that, like, same thing with the voices, like I was telling you. It's the same thing, kind of like freestyling. I be seeing my day-to-day conversations kind of like freestyling.
That's how I like it to be, bro. I try to, like, you know, that's why I love words, because I try to fucking spice it up and say some stupid shit and
I know.
get you thinking. Like, you know, I love like words that are like, you know, colloquialisms that are like, you know, make you think, you know, like, I can't think of one now, but you know, it's like just funny words, you know, like that is the same thing, but it's like, you know, it makes you, okay, so the other day, right, we were in the mountains and shit, and, essentially I was about to grill up some stuff, and, you know, I was tripping, but like, and I was thinking of like what I was going to make, and it, you know, they're steaks, but like, you know, I couldn't think of the word steak, but like, you know, it's a, you know, essentially it's like a pork chop, but I called it a beef chop. And, you know, it's like, it's, you know, it's like getting creative with words and, you know, just like switching stuff up, and like, it's the same thing, you know, but it's like, you don't call it a beef chop, you know, it's, it just hits the air. It's different.
What the fuck? You could dig a steak.
Yeah.
He's like, fuck.
Like beef chops.
Shit, gave you opportunity to create.
You know, and yeah, it's stuff like that, bro. I love that shit. It's play on words, and, you know, it's getting creative.
I wonder if anyone's ever said that before. Beef chop. If they try to call it that. Like, why is it called a steak?
I know.
Why isn't it called a beef chop?
Why is a pork chop called a pork chop?
And a steak called a steak. They both look kind of the same. They're just different meats.
You go back in time, figure that one out. But yeah, it's a life, man. The great freestyle.
Straight up, the great freestyle.
That's how you're freestyling it, bro.
Every day, all day, my whole life. I knew that shit would come in handy.
Oh man, it really, honestly, it's a great skill.
Yep.
It's only ever helped me in life, I think. It's everything, you know.
Yeah, freestyling's amazing.
Yeah.
It's definitely my favorite part of the music. Like I love, you know, presenting, and I like performing. Performing is amazing, but the best moments I've ever had in my hip hop experience were like in like a cypher with, you know, a couple other people, and just we were all going, you know, having a good ass time, smoking weed or doing whatever, you know, just freestyling. Back in the day, those are good moments. You know, you just, like, you can't replace that. You know, I miss freaking. It's like, damn, I wish we could have caught some of those moments.
Yeah, it'd have been nice to record some of them. Those have been tight.
Those are fucking classic. Like, I'm telling you, we had some legendary sessions.
Yeah, it was fun back in the day with Matt and Harrison and shit, and you know, Ronald jumping in time to time.
I know, Ronald.
It was fun, man. Down in the basement and shit. Just in the studio. Hot ass studio.
Oh yeah.
It was good times, man. You know, it's crazy to think that was like, you know, 5-6 years ago now.
Yeah, bro. Time be flying. Shit's wild. Shout out everybody.
Yeah.
Matt,
Much love.
Harrison, Ronald, peace, love y'all.
Hope y'all doing well.
Yep.
Living the dream.
Yeah, we all are. I talked to Ronald a couple days ago.
Nice.
Yeah, me and Ronald talk every now and again.
Mr. Green.
Yeah, Mr. Green. Oh.
Yeah. He's, I haven't seen him in a while. I'm trying to remember the last time I saw him. It was like, what were we doing? I think it might have been a concert or something, honestly.
Dude, that'd be tight if we could get him to do the podcast and he comes down.
That'd be sweet. You know, I'd love to get Ronald on.
Yeah, so.
I mean, honestly, you know.
That might work.
Maybe we could go to him. I don't know. We'll see what's up.
So he was talking about coming down.
Yeah, just to do it?
We'll talk. No, to chill.
Hell yeah.
But I was thinking maybe we could do that too.
That'd be sweet.
That'd be tight.
Yeah, we'll talk. Oh, man. Time, man. It keeps going.
I know time's a trip, bro. Continuous motion. Endless events happening everywhere all at once.
Yes.
Like, you see, this is happening right here. But over there, somewhere, wherever the fuck that dog is at, he's barking. And something's happening over there.
Yeah. Something's always happening. You know, down in Japan, they're doing stuff right now.
I know, man.
Somebody's doing something. Somebody's making something to eat. Somebody's driving around.
Somebody's probably making a car.
Going to sleep. You know,
designing a new freaking model.
Yeah, you know.
Geniuses in Japan.
It's all happening everywhere all at once. Constantly.
Everything everywhere all at once. That was a good movie.
That was a good movie. I love that movie.
I enjoyed it.
It's a wild concept, you know, to like be living everywhere all at once, you know, and having to like choose to be in the moment at, you know, certain realities.
Yeah, for real.
Choosing what
I've
reality
never
you want to live in.
had that experience in particular. But I do be somewhere else sometimes, bro, whenever I'm fucking just talking to people. Have you seen that meme? It's like, it's Fry from Futurama. He's all riding on he has a little helmet on, and he's like riding this little alien through space. And he goes, when my mind just goes to somewhere else, when I'm in mid conversation with someone. I was like, yeah, that's me, bro. Sometimes this shit happens.
Yeah, man.
Mine just wanders. He's like, oh shit. Hold on. You don't want to stop the conversation and make them backtrack. So you just kind of listen and try to like pick up where it's at and see if you could piece together the middle parts that you missed.
I've got them working on that myself. Like, just, you know, kind of actually being real with people. It's like, sorry, what was that last part?
Yeah, I've been working on that too, bro.
Well, like
just paying attention initially, even.
yeah, I know, real. It's hard, man. You know, 'cause especially like when, you know, there's a lot of people around, or you know, a lot of people trying to talk to you at once. You know, it's trying to do something when you're multitasking. You know,
Yep.
It can be a challenge, but I mean, it helps. You know, I assume it's building a skill somewhere,
Something. It's developing something.
thickening those muscles in our brains. That
Oh yeah.
that skill muscle, a little wire.
I know the fucking our senses are gonna be all freaking bodybuilders.
Super fire. It's blah.
All right. Gonna be superhuman.
Just surging through. Just charged.
Supercharged. On
Man,
fucking Super Saiyan.
I'm pretty sure I said it
Ultra
before, man. Like, the first time I took acid, shit, that's how my brain felt, man. Fucking, I could, like, feel my neurons firing. Like, yeah, it was wild, man.
Yeah, I've never felt it like that in particular, but I have felt like just it's a certain activation in your brain for sure.
Definitely.
You feel that shit. I felt like I was like going through a maze in my mind one time to find the fucking answer to this thought. I was like, fuck, I'll figure this shit out. And I came to a conclusion and I was like, yes!
Yes!
I was there for like 3 hours, I swear, thinking, bro. Just chilling on the couch, like sitting there in my mind. But it was so interesting because it was like literally like I was going through a maze. Like I was going through something to find this thing, this conclusion that I was searching. I forget.
Yeah, the stop.
I forget what it was. I wrote it down somewhere, but
Chasing the dragon.
yeah, it was crazy. I was tripping. I was tripping that day. It was back when I used to trip like every day for 4 days a week or some shit.
Long trip.
Yeah, it was like one of those times. Yeah.
Man, that never worked for me. It must be nice. I don't know, man. Like, I'd try to, you know, trip the next day, and it would just be waste. Like, I mean, I never actually took more than I'd previously taken, so maybe that was my issue.
That's what you're supposed to do.
I know, but it's like, shit, man.
Yeah, they say if you're going to do that,
I ain't got that money for it back then.
I know.
But, you know, it's, yeah, I don't know. It never really, I don't know, it definitely, I'm not sure if it would have the same effect, though, for me. It never really felt like it either, you know, like I'd always do it, no, it just like felt like, I don't know, like it just wasn't the same, you know.
I know, I swear, bro, there was a turning point for the tripping experience, at least for me. I don't know about you, but it was a turning point.
No doubt.
When we all three did that, we did like that liquid, I think, and then we kind of fell asleep, woke up, and we were all tripping pretty hard. Then we went for that walk. It's like we almost went through a portal through your living room.
Yeah.
Found that joint. Me, you, and Harrison.
No doubt.
Yeah, that was a turning point for me in my tripping experience. Ever since then, my trips got like really intense. I was like, whoa.
Yeah, I don't know what happened. Yeah, I don't mean like, I mean that one wasn't specifically on my turning point, I don't think, but like it's interesting, like, cause yeah, I remember like, I mean, I definitely wouldn't be doing it every day, but I know like every time, like for a while there, you know, I'd be doing like, you know, 5 hits, you know, 6 hits, you know, 4 hits, you know, a lot, and like, yeah, you know, it's wild because like now, you know, when I do one, it's just, you know, it's enough.
I know, right? I feel you.
So it's just wild to think, you know.
Like, damn, I was really doing that much.
Yeah.
But at the same time, that's kind of what got you here.
Right?
To that.
It's like part of the same thing we're talking about. You know, like, I don't think I was really ready for all that, you know, but it did help me, get to this point, you know. I may have not have been completely open to it. But I mean, I think obviously, over time, continually doing it, and the experiences I had through time, definitely changed my perspective and helped me understand what I was missing, I think.
Mm-hmm. I definitely agree. Once I started to slow down, I started to see more.
Right? Yeah. Like, isn't that wild? Like, you're taking all this, to truly, like, have, like, this transcendental experience. But, like, in the end, like, you realize it's really, like, one little hit, half a hit. You just chill and, like, it does it,
For real, though.
It's kind of wild.
It's crazy.
It's kind of the opposite of what you think, But, I mean, obviously you still fucking trip balls. It's like you're not... it doesn't happen, but, it's like... It's different, You're kind of just overwhelmed with the sensation.
Yeah, it's like... It's because it's all about the senses, It's like stimulating the senses. And weed even, it stimulates your senses in a certain type of way.
Yeah.
So... You do a lot, man. That's how I felt. I felt like I kind of overstimulated my senses, and it was detrimental to my body in a way.
Tolerance, I guess, to anything is kind of real, huh?
Yeah, for real.
It's wild.
Yeah, so I've been on this whole journey of trying to freaking rebuild my senses.
Sharpen your steel, though.
Yes, exactly. Because it's all awareness, bro, and senses. The more you can sense, the more you're aware, the better for yourself in just any situation. I swear.
Yeah, man. It's real. Just gotta sharpen the saw, man, and just do it. It's wild because, like, obviously, video games, a lot of them are based off, life itself because, it's life. But, like, in a game, like, you do certain things and, just doing it levels you up, and it's like, that's what it is, in real life. You just do it, you learn about it. The more you do it, the more easier it gets, it's...
I be feeling like I level up all the time. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, yeah, I feel like I just leveled up in this area.
Oh shit.
Yeah, I see. Because you just feel different about it. Like like once you're doing something, and you're sticking with it, and you just do it for a while, and then after a certain point, you're just like, man, I don't know, certain things just happen to you, and you feel like you're doing it differently, even and better. You're just like, man, that's how I feel. I'm like, yeah, I feel like I just leveled up because you just feel better about it, and more like even more comfortable or whatever, just everything is just better, like for instance, my Tai Chi is big. That's the one thing I've noticed, is I feel like I'd be leveling up. I'm like, and I notice it. I'm like, whoa, I feel like I learned something.
Definitely, man. And that's how I feel about reading too. Like it's I love it, man. With reading anything, like watching videos, like just gaining understanding. Just man, leveling up. Like I was telling you about. I don't know if you guys out there have heard of Vox or watch Vox at all on YouTube. Or aware of them. Essentially, they're like a kind of like a what did I say, like Vice. They do like interviews and pieces on interesting subjects, and they don't really give much attention. Mm-hmm. And kind of just I've been aware of this through like ethnic studies, Chicano studies, all this other stuff I've taken, but like just how racism truly shaped history. And led up to this point, and like, it's wild, man. From, I was telling you, like, back in the day, like, when the Dutch came and colonized, Jakarta, Indonesia, they broke it up into, like, sectors where it was, like, racially divided, where they had, like, the Africans over here, the, natives over here, like, and it's wild, that it was that way. But like, essentially, because of that, the Dutch rule, they were like, in charge when they ditched the, city because it was getting too crowded to go live in the suburbs or whatever. They did their, piped water. And so like, essentially it left the rest of the city to, pump water up and lead to today, the rest of the city's now sinking because they're all sucking up all this water from, the groundwater, which is leading it, all this, rock to just be porous and empty and causing it to crumble and collapse, and it's, cut to the Navajo Nation, down in New Mexico, like essentially during World War II, they needed all this uranium for these bombs. They do all this mining because, it's good for work, it's good for business, but, now it's just a bunch of, waste, uranium waste piles sitting there that's just leaking into the water, causing people to get cancer. It's like, and nobody cares about this stuff. People do care, obviously. I care, you care. I mean, it's important stuff to care about, but, nobody, like we were talking about, not enough people care, and it's important. And it's crazy that because of racism, because of, money and like, ideals of what's important, people are being, forced to die, forced to drown, forced to, live in certain conditions just based off of, where they're born, their skin color. It's fucking ridiculous, dude. In this day and age too, but it's just wild that, history of racism has led to this point, and it's still there. It's just, now it's a lot more covert, as opposed to overt. I mean, obviously there's still a lot of people who are overt about it, but, it's wild. It blew my mind, just to know the full extent, that it's more than just a history. It's a history because, nothing happens in a vacuum. None of this shit. It's one planet. You do something over here, it's going to affect what happens over here. Like it's wild, so like knowing that happened, it's not just going to change, the future, it's going to happen based off of that. Yeah.
That shit's insane.
It is, man. Truly, like, and it's wild. It truly is. It's all because, power, money, skin color, like, God. I don't know.
Yeah, this world is quite the place.
Yeah, man, we gotta pay more attention. Everyone's so, I mean, yeah, we gotta take care of yourself, and do what you gotta do. But I mean, there's a larger world out there that we gotta pay attention to as well. There's a lot going on. Yeah.
And it's real, That's why I try to be the best I could be, And I need to get more informed in myself every single day.
Yeah, man. I agree. Always more to be informed about.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah, not to get down or nothing, but it's just reality,
No, yeah.
You gotta stay informed. And what you don't know is, it's ignorance is bliss, but I mean, there's still shit going on. You can be ignorant, but it's still happening. That's just the reality. And I mean, and it's like when I talk about if you don't know the history, you're bound to repeat it. If you don't know the reality, you're gonna step in some shit and like completely caught off guard. And yeah, man.
And you're gonna ask like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah.
Because you don't even know.
Yeah, man. Stay aware, man. Keep your eyes open. Shit's always going down. Feel the vibes. The vibes don't lie. Yeah, man.
Yeah, it's some real shit.
Shit, man. It's just wild. And, yeah, man. All I know is I can change what I do, and I want I want to be the change I want to see in the world. Like Gandhi said. And I strive for that shit. But, it's always easier said than done. But, yeah, man.
Exactly. One step at a time,
Yeah. One day at a time. One day at a time.
So, yeah, I'm trying to be better every single day.
Yeah, I think it's me.
One block at a time.
I know, one block at a time. Yeah, man, it's hard. Life's hard, I mean, we're all going through it. It doesn't get easier; it gets harder. That's just the reality.
So I keep telling people that too. Like, I'm not gonna lie to you. It's only gonna get harder. So you gotta just get stronger, and just gotta keep with it. Keep strong.
Hell yeah, man.
Because if not, it's just gonna destroy you.
It's gonna break you.
Yep.
JFK, like I've said it before, and it's a quote now that it just makes more sense. Don't pray for an easier life. Pray to be a stronger man. Because, it's not going to get easier. It's only going to get harder. And, yeah, man. I loved, it was interesting because, like, how, like, it made me think about it in Nope. When OJ was talking about how, like, it has spirit. And any animal spirit can have spirit broken. And it's like, that's just real. Even as humans, we're animals as well. And it's the same. It's spirit. Like people can have their spirit broken, and never recover from it. It's real. And it's just wild, that like that is a thing, spirit. Like, not in the sense of like soul or anything, but like sheer like just drive, the will to live.
Yeah.
It's real, man. And yeah, man. So for some people it's fragile, so we were talking about, you gotta be careful. Like you don't know who you're talking to, and like sometimes you gotta like gauge it, before you truly, like that's kind of like something I'm working on too, just like gauging people and understanding them and their limits. And, like before I completely let go with like my full assault of jokes and how I like to, go about it, I'll understand people and I'll let them know, like, are you cool with that? Like, I hope that doesn't offend you or not, cause like, everybody has their limits, everybody has their, beliefs and stuff. And like, it's, like I was telling you before, like I'm a joker, like my name literally means laughter. I love to laugh and I love, like it's wild, right? So Isaac, in the Bible, essentially Abraham, an old man, he, God essentially told him, he was infertile, he was unable to have a child for a while. And so like, God was like, you're going to have a child. And his wife laughed, laughter, Isaac. And he was like, all right, like when this baby's born, you're going to name him Isaac, cause you think it's funny. And like, so yeah. And then, he goes and gets her pregnant and Isaac's born, it's wild. But like, like I think it's, it's all funny to me, and I mean, I respect everybody and their beliefs and stuff, but like I don't know. I can make light of stuff, but I mean, obviously, there's some stuff that gets me too, but I mean, it's just interesting. But like you talked about too, it is about tone, right? Like if someone's saying something and it's like personal and there's a certain tone to it, yeah, it's different than like, someone messing around with you and like, it's, and they're a friend and close and stuff like that. There's obviously different dynamics. If it's like somebody who's like, you just met and they're like making observations and picking at you and shit, like, yeah, it's going to kind of annoy you. Like, who's this person? They don't know you. Like, they're just assuming and, making some observations. But I mean, yeah, man, it's
some real shit.
It is, man. It is, it's wild. Even that, dynamics with people, and how like relationships work. Cause like me and you, we can talk shit with each other on a certain level and it is what it is, we can fuck around. But like, yeah, if it's like a random stranger or something, like tries to come up and start like, I mean, obviously every scenario is different, but yeah, dude comes and start like talking about my mama and shit. It's like, what? Like, what the fuck? Like, who are you? Like, I don't know you. Like, it's, yeah.
No, some real shit though.
Yeah,
I've always tried to be mindful of that. I don't know. My family used to always just tell me like, "Oh, watch your tone, this and that." Da, 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 da.
Tone.
And then I didn't understand it until I got older, but I definitely notice it. And I'm like, yeah, it's really a thing. You know, I notice. I don't know. It just tells how certain people feel. I feel like, you know, like
Yeah, you can tell someone's irritated or if they're happy, you know, like
yeah, in their tone.
Yeah, it's real, man.
So
it's real. It's all people will tell you, you know how they're feeling. We've been over this, you know. It's all just you just got to listen.
Yeah,
pay attention.
exactly. Yeah, you don't even have to ask.
Just watch it, you know, like you'll tell me. Yeah, man, it's interesting.
I believe it's on you.
Is it on me?
Yeah, it's on too. You too.
Wee.
And so it
is.
Have you seen? Did you finish watching the Pentaverate?
I never did. No, did you?
I did.
Yeah, is it a good watch?
It was good. It was good.
Is it a good ending and stuff? Yeah.
Fuck, I'm trying to remember. Yeah, it was pretty good.
Is it like
It was like
is key in the whole thing?
Nah, he dies off in the fucking first 2 episodes.
Oh, jeez.
I was shocked. I was like, wow, they killed him off like that?
Wow.
Yeah, they killed. He got like something in his drink or something.
Does it just get replaced with like another the guy of what's his name?
The Asian dude.
Is it not what's his name though? Mike Myers, or is it Mike Myers?
It's not Mike Myers.
Oh, okay.
He got replaced with the Asian dude from fucking Hangover.
Oh, really? He's
yeah.
the Was he like a doctor or something too?
Nah, I don't know what he was. He was just he just freaking was crazy. And then he joined the other guy, and they tried to take over the Pentaverate.
That's funny.
They were a part of the Pentaverate.
That's funny.
Yeah, and they were they turned on them, and it was a good watch. I thought it was funny. There's a lot of like pretty notable lines in there. Mm-hmm.
I'll check it out.
I love Mike Myers. Mike Myers, he's pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he knows what he's doing. I've always thought he was real funny. Ever since Austin Powers.
Yeah, I love Mike Myers. He's the shit.
Yeah.
Wayne's Worlds and all that.
Oh yeah, see.
Fire.
Yeah, legendary.
Yeah.
Wayne's World.
Legend. Shrek.
Oh, yeah. Oh, he was on Shrek, huh?
Hey, Shrek.
Yeah. Damn.
Yeah, it's good.
Oh, it's funny.
What
They have Shrek in the Pentaverate movie in
like,
one of the episodes.
Like the movie itself, or him?
It's like he jumps in on a scene or something.
He's like a real Shrek, like a guy dressed as Shrek or something.
Yeah, a guy who dresses Shrek, and he knocks out Sasquatch.
And that's it.
Yeah. He's like, I'm the ogre of this town or some shit like that. And then he goes freaking, he freaking, boom, knocks him out.
That's great. I definitely got to check it out now.
Yeah, that shit was funny. But that makes sense why he was in there now.
Yeah. Yeah, man, it's good stuff. It's good stuff. I love Mike Myers, man.
Yeah, Mike Myers is the shit, bro.
Yeah, I definitely gotta check it out, man. I recently, I don't know if I already said this last time, but I actually saw the next level for Jumanji. So I kind of like it. It's really good, really deep. You know, a lot of like, you know, really brings up like death and you know, just like the importance of life and you know, just it's really like there's one because like it's the guy's grandpa and stuff and his friend and like their relationship and like. Yeah, they're dynamic and yeah, you know, it's really deep. And it got some good like actors too, like you know, obviously it has The Rock and stuff, but it has Danny DeVito and Donald Glover, and they're like the older dudes. And yeah, it's cool to just see their relationship and like just how deep it is, and like yeah, like the messages they're getting across, just like the importance of life and like how they view it and how they come to view it, and like how you know Jumanji gives them you know certain understanding on it.
Interesting. So did you watch that in the theaters? Or?
On Amazon. There was this other one too I watched. I keep forgetting what it was. But another movie. It was a good one though.
I watched this movie the other day. It was called The Children of the Sea.
Children of the Sea. What was that about?
That shit was a trip, bro. So it was about this chick. She's like, I don't know, she's like a teenager. She's lost in life. But she's trying to do something with herself for the summer. She just asking all these questions like, ooh, why am I here? What is this for? You know, like she was like seemed really depressed. And these kids come in her life, and they grew up in the sea. They were raised by dugongs or something like that, and they live underwater. They can't so their skin can't get too dry. It has to stay moist. But they're in this lab. The scientists are doing all these tests. They're trying to figure out what's different about these kids. There's nothing different in comparison to us. So they're pretty much like regular humans, but they're water humans. And they take this girl into the ocean, all this and that, and they show her the ocean, and they show her like all this crazy stuff. They give her this meteorite, and like she swallows it, and it's in her stomach, and then she ends up being a part of this like I guess it's like some type of prophecy or some shit. So they go into the ocean, they get lost at sea. She gets swallowed by a whale. She turns into a fucking giant whirlpool in the alignment of the freaking universe and all this, and she becomes the universe, and she comes back, and it was like nothing happened almost. Like she's just floating in the ocean at the end, but it was pretty crazy.
Is it like an anime or live action?
It was an anime.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, the story was really interesting. I was like, damn, what the fuck? When she got swallowed by the whale, bro, that shit blew my mind. Because she was always like laying in the ocean.
Yeah.
And then all these lights lit up around her. And it looked like this like type of ceremony type shit. And then all you see is this whale come from underneath her. And just swallow her. And then you see her go through all the 4 different stomachs of the whale. And yeah, it's actually pretty cool. It was really interesting. I was like, wow, this is wild, bro. I never would have thought. Yeah, she comes into contact with all these different creatures inside the whale.
That's a trip.
Yeah, this shit was wild, bro. She like went to the depths of existence. Fucking got crushed. Became the universe. And just made it out. And she was just laying there in the ocean. Her parents found her in the ocean. They're like, what is going on? Oh my God, I'm glad we found you. They were all looking for her, all crazy.
So do you think she was drowning, hallucinating, or do you think it really happened?
I don't know.
Like, is any of this really happening?
Yeah, that could be. That's the big question. That's what we all say, right?
I'll pull the curtain back.
Dude,
just a little peek.
Is it really happening? Damn, man.
Is it really happening?
Well, because even when she said in the beginning of the movie, she's seen these whales. They were like ghost whales.
And that was before she... Well, so, like, is she just, like, on a boat or something? Or she just goes into the water from the beach, or...
So she was on a boat, essentially, at first. And they were... Because they're following these patterns and all these signs. Because all the ocean is gathering, and there's, like, this big cosmic event around this meteorite. And it's, like, now it's in her stomach. you know, and they could have the children could have been ghosts. Okay, they could have been. I don't know, but she just was in the middle of the ocean, jumps off the fucking boat in the middle of the ocean, starts swimming with the animals, and this animal starts talking to her. She's like, why did I jump in? And then she goes, oh, what are you talking to me about? Starts listening to the animal. She grabs onto the animal, and she does this like freaking super travel through the ocean thing. It's like, where she travels at like light speed or something. Like through, it was crazy. It seemed like it made sense though, because they were like, oh yeah, the ocean separates itself, the water separates itself into pockets. So if you find the pocket, you swim easier. So I was like, I want to try that when I swim next time, but but it was interesting to see her go through that, and then all of a sudden she comes to the whale, and the whale like jumps out of the water, and is all looking at her, and she's just like all in awe. Then he goes back into the water, and then all the lights come around, and then all of a sudden he comes and eats her. He's like, yeah, I'm about to eat this chick. He all jumped. He's like, there you are.
Oh, I see you now.
Right?
Gotcha.
He's like, you're mine.
Lunch.
There's no escaping it.
Huh. That's nice. What's that one called?
Children of the Sea.
That's on what, Netflix?
Yeah. Bro, it was a trip. It was a trip. I watched it twice, actually. The second time I was tripping. So it was like, whoa.
Children of the Sea.
Children of the Sea.
You know what I was watching on Netflix? I don't know if you've ever seen it or remember it, but Not Another Teen Movie.
I've seen it like way back in the day.
Yeah.
But it's been a long time.
Yeah, it's real raunchy, but it's just funny. It's ugly.
But it's on there?
Yeah, it's on there. Yeah, it's just funny because like you see a lot of like I mean now they're like actors that are do a lot of stuff now, but like it's them young and stuff.
Yeah,
it's just funny.
I'll have to check it out again.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
Yeah, throwback.
Yeah,
super throwback.
Yeah, it's like a high school comedy.
Yeah, they probably all look like high schoolers too.
Yeah, they're all young.
They're all young.
Yeah, it's nice. You know what I've really been playing though? Cyberpunk, man. You heard of that one? Did I ever told you about that one yet? It's Cyberpunk 2077. It's pretty lit. Essentially, it's like it's based in the future, 2077. You know, it's like everything's like technology. You know, like cybernetic implants. Hacking, like a lot of stuff like that. A lot of like rogue AIs and just like interesting stuff like that. And like cities have like become like mega cities. So there's like California's Night City, and it's just like this giant city, and that's pretty much it. Is
that a game?
It's a video game. Originally, it was like a tabletop role playing game. But yeah, it's pretty legit.
That sounds interesting.
Yeah, dude. And like it's first person. You gotta like choose your guy and
first person.
Yeah, you get to go through it and pretty much. So there's like 3.
So is it kind of like Skyrim?
Yeah, or like Call of Duty.
Type.
Yeah. So you essentially like 3 stories you get to choose from in the beginning. It's like a corpo, straight kid, or like nomad, and corpo's like a like a businessman, like part of the corporations and stuff. Nomad is like you ride your bike and stuff in like the deserts, like a biker pretty much, and then street kid is just like city boy, gang stuff like that. It's interesting. I chose Street Kid, and it's legit, man. It's really good, deep. And you feel like you make choices and stuff, and like choose dialogue, and you really feel like what you do matters. It's really awesome.
And you got that on your Xbox?
I think I've told you about like The Witcher and stuff. I was like hooked on that for a long time. The same people make this one, And yeah, it's just like the story and stuff's real deep, and like like I said, the choices and stuff, like it gives you options, and like the outcomes actually vary, and like actually like matter down the line. Like you'll meet certain people and they'll like know what you did, and it's just interesting.
That sounds tight.
Yeah, it's wild.
I think it's on you.
I think it's you actually. Actually, no, you're right. You right. Come on. Come on down.
Come on.
So, episode 100 is coming up, y'all. Don't sleep it, peep it. Stay tuned. Got some interesting stuff coming up.
Exactly.
This is, 89? 98. So, yeah.
Keep on rising to the top.
Tippy top.
Bam.
Tippy top.
Look at that shit, bro.
I sees it.
He's trying to pummel it. It's clobbering time.
Yeah, it's clobbering time. The Devastator.
Please don't, sir.
Turn this to rubble.
Whoa.
I'm gonna flip it. Flip it upside down a little to the left.
Are these the same way? I don't know.
I don't know. Is it? Oh, SpaghettiOs.
Yeah. And that's where it goes.
Is that the way the cookie crumbles?
That is the way the cookie crumbles.
Oh, good. Wouldn't want it to crumble any other way.
Never. Watch this.
Like I'm a sucker for nostalgia.
SBA.
Uh-oh. Is he gonna do it? Is he doing it now? Is this the one?
I'm not.
Ooh. You know what? So I've also decided, so there's not enough goddamn time. There's too many goddamn books. So I'm gonna read a comic and a regular book and like a textbook and like a fiction book. So I'm gonna read 3 books. Well, technically, I'm reading 4 books because I'm doing the 5 Rings, the sword drill book. I started Death Troopers, and then I'm reading my Moon Knight comic book. So it's a lot to all through.
He's like, yes, I'm gonna do it this way. I gotta read them all. I gotta get through this shit already.
Ain't enough time. The pile's only getting bigger.
It's true.
Because I just bought some more Stephen King books and shit too, and it's fuck.
I know the vibe.
Yeah, you know the game.
I know what it is. Yeah, I've been working on getting through my books too.
Oh, yeah,
I got other books calling me. I'm like, I'm itching.
Yeah, it's real, man.
Damn,
books
bro. Smacking it around.
It's getting a little rough. Playing a little hardball.
What was that?
Somebody's knocking on doors somewhere. Sounds like maybe down there. What's going on? Ka-chow.
Trying to make sure there's someone coming up in here.
Tender.
Damn.
Well. I'll be. What do you know? Touchdown.
Is that right?
It's the rightest of rights. Some might even say it's left.
Oh, yeah. Well, watch this trick.
Oh, shit.
Going up.
What are you scheming?
I'm
Just scheming. Lowe's scheming again. Uh-oh. Telling me. I was yanking it over there. Manhandling it. Okay.
I know.
So many options. It's just like, wow.
So many options? Yeah, right.
Oh, farewell.
A good friend.
Let's just throw some right. Good. Oh. Well, that'll do it. Thank y'all for watching. Like, share, subscribe. If you like what you see here, reach out. If you're interested in coming on, let us know.
Yes, help us build our tower to the top.
Yes, we're trying to get to the ceiling. We need your help to get there.
Yes, so tell us. If you haven't subscribed, subscribe. We're almost to the 100 mark.
Oh, yeah, we're like 98. Don't be scared. Tell your friends. Come on. Help us get to 100. We're so close.
Yeah, and then we got to keep going.
Yeah, it's only one little benchmark. It's just the beginning.
Very.
So, yeah.
Very beginning.
Y'all know what to be. Don't be scared. Don't be afeared. Break the mold. Be bold.
Yeah, exactly.
Let's go.
And don't always do what you're told.
Never. All right, y'all. Peace and love.
Much love. Peace.